Sri Jamshed Godrej ji, Sri V. Suresh, Sri Chandrajit Banerjee, Sri Gurmeet Singh Arora, green building professionals, officials of the CAI, engineers, developers and builders across the country who all are joining this conclave, designers, and architects and other well-meaning people who are associating themselves with this CAA proposed Green Building Congress 2020. I really have pleasure in inaugurating this Confederation of Indian Industries Green Building Congress. The reason being very simple. This is the need of the hour. This should be the thrust area for the development of India. But for the pandemic, we were moving fast. And I am sure we'll be able to overcome this pandemic also at the earliest. I am sure these deliberations, 3-day deliberations of this conference will provide fresh insights and facilitate the Indian construction industry in building a greener India. We not only need to build a strong India, but we need to build a cleaner and greener India. I'm happy to note that this year, 2020, marks 125 years of CAA's contribution to the industry and the nation. I must compliment CAA for spearheading the green building movement through its Indian Green Building Council since 2001. This is a step in the right direction. Chandrajit Banerjee and then Sri Suresh ji and even Jamshed Godrej ji and all. I always, whenever I participate in such conferences as Rural Development Minister or Urban Development Minister in whatever capacity, I always, appreciate the work done, but I always give them further task because you are the people who can do it. And you must really do something better than what you have done in the past. That's always been the thrust of my address to the conferences whenever I have called, because you are the doers. You are capable of doing it. And fortunately, you have the wherewithal and knowledge and people committed for the cause, getting involved in these activities. Sri Jamshed Godrej has been working very sincerely in a committed manner. I have seen his work and also heard about the good work done by him and his colleagues. Mr. Suresh, though he is looking young, he is older than many of us, but with vast experience. He has the knowledge, field experience, and also academic excellence as far as this subject is concerned. I have seen him working with me in the rural development, HUDCO, then also in other responsibilities. He's a very dynamic. So you are people with the present setup of Sri Gurmeet Singh Arora, who is the Vice Chairman of this Green Building Council. I am sure you can take this movement further. The Prime Minister Sri Narendra Bhai Modi, you know, is always ambitious. because ours is a huge country, huge population, and you have vast number of challenges in front of you. So these challenges cannot be met by the government alone, be it the center or the state or the local self-government. The entire people, country, they should all join together in all these fields, from education to environment. And the important thing is, while we are moving forward on the developmental front, we are also facing challenges on the ecological front. So we have to understand that, and how do you marry both development and environment? They are not contradictory. They can go together, provided if you properly educate the people and people are motivated and then move forward. That's why I always say, remember your culture. Nature, culture, together for better future. The civic community has to be educated. You make any number of regulations, rules, unless the people cooperate, you cannot operate it effectively. So the need of the hour is to create the needed motivation among the people. I'm happy the CAA, through its publications today that are being released, that will give enough information and also inspiration. Because whatever information you give, this information is with confirmation. You are speaking or you are publishing it out of experience. So I am sure these publications will be very useful. If the mankind is able to take care of the nature, nature will take care of the mankind. Unfortunately, we started misbehaving with the nature. So nature also is showing its fury. That's why you get all these natural calamities. Most of them are man-made. So you have to change the mindset of the people and explain them of the consequences. Now we have seen in this pandemic, in spite of all scientific advances, even so-called advanced countries, how they are facing this challenge, even developed countries. The COVID, its effects, side effects, and now after effects are being felt by one and all, including developed countries. So the focus should be more on being friendly with the nature. The air, the water, the land, the light, and what we call as Panchabhutas. All of them should be taken care. So we should perform our responsibilities in a better manner. That's where the role of organizations like CAA, they play a very important role. I am delighted to know that India, with a 7.61 billion square feet of green building footprint, is among the top 5 countries in the world. This is truly laudable and an important milestone in India's mission to build a greener and healthier India. I appreciate all of you for taking green building movement in India to newer heights. The good work should continue, and the government and the industry should work together in achieving the country's mission. I would also like to compliment the CAI for developing guidelines for combating COVID-19 in green buildings. My dear sisters and brothers, of the country. You are all aware the government of India is making a determined effort to transform India into a holistically sustainable nation with the involvement of all the stakeholders. The Prime Minister has given a call: reform, perform, and transform. Transform in every sense. Over the past few decades, humankind has been experiencing extreme climate events at regular intervals, from droughts to floods to wildfires. The extreme events, tsunamis, and have wreaked havoc in the affected regions and caused economic as well as health damages. It is now clear that climate change is real as daylight, and countries all over the world must adopt drastic and revolutionary measures to mitigate the problems of global warming. According to the World Green Building Council, buildings and construction amount to 39% of the energy. They account for 39% of energy related to CO2 emissions in the world. This is a matter of concern and needs to be addressed on a war footing. The need of the hour is accelerate the process of total decarbonization of the built environment. Perhaps the time has come to seriously consider if we have to make it mandatory for every new building, government or private, to go green, be it for office, hospital, education, entertainment, hotel, home, all this. Not only new buildings, the existing buildings need to have to be retrofitted to make them environment friendly by adopting green practices that promote energy efficiency and water conservation. I suggest that CII should focus on this also, retrofitting the old buildings. Sustainable buildings are an important component in building resilient communities. As a matter of fact, there is a need to create awareness on the urgency of promoting green buildings concept among the people. The architects also should apply their mind. We are seeing, particularly in this COVID, with our little knowledge, the circulation of the air from within, it affects more than the open. Sometimes I used to conduct my meetings initially when this COVID started under the tree outside my house with a select number of people. And we feel more comfort because the light shows you the light of the future and your ideas will be bright. So gone are those days of keeping everything closed. Keep it open and then allow the light to come in to light your lives. That should be the attitude. I have seen certain buildings, even in Hyderabad. The energy requirement is very minimum because the natural energy is coming. Apart from energy efficiency, the concept seeks to ensure water efficiency. Water is an important thing that has to be taken care because there is going to be water shortage also, and we are used to waste water without understanding the value of the water. The use of renewable energy. Of course, we are promoting, the Prime Minister have taken lead. Now, there is a movement across the country to go for renewable energy. Promote waste reduction. This is another big challenge. Lot of waste is being created. How do you reduce it? And encourage the use of environment-friendly local material. This is another aspect. I got a building constructed in Nellore. I remember Mr. Suresh, myself, we went and laid foundation for that. using environment-friendly local material. The material is available. In other words, sustainability has to be the watchword, because buildings are one of the major contributors of greenhouse gas emissions. There is a need for concerted, coordinated effort from all the stakeholders to ensure the use of construction material that is environment friendly and mitigate the effects of climate change. The construction material we use today should be sustainable, should not be in any way jeopardize the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Low carbon technologies have to be extensively promoted and used. Basically, a green building must use less energy, less water, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions drastically. I would like to suggest to the Indian Green Building Council to launch a campaign for promoting net zero carbon building. And every building must have outside to say that ours is a green building. Promote that concept. Ours is a green building. When you move around the cities, you must find number of such displays. That really motivates others. The CREDAI, organizations like CREDAI and others should be involved in this campaign. They also have different chapters because they are also involved in construction activity. The Indian Building Congress, CREDAI, they should all be involved in this campaign. As you are all aware, a net zero carbon building is highly energy efficient and fully powered by on-site and or off-site renewable energy sources. I suggest to the local bodies, corporations, municipalities to encourage and promote by giving tax concessions to those green buildings. That will be a great incentive where water wastage is reduced, where there is rainwater harvesting, where there is energy saving, renewable energy. All these things needed to be encouraged unless you give incentive. The ordinary people, as I told you, have a vast area. And also we have a good number of middle class. So if you incentivize them, the momentum will pick up further. So the Urban Development Ministry and Rural Development Ministry must focus on this aspect and motivate the local bodies. And then in future, the finance commissions also should focus their attention on this. As we know that under this government, a lot of money is going directly to panchayats from the central government. It's a welcome development. But it should be combined with, it should be tied with some sort of guideline. So that more and more, like you have green states with more green coverage, they are being given some weightage. So similarly, such local bodies and also the communities, they should be encouraged. I am saying it from the platform of the CAA because you are capable of taking forward this idea. It should be realized that it cannot be business as usual in regard to combating global warming. At the current rate of growth, the urban population in India is estimated to reach a staggering 57 crores by 2030 and 87 crores by 2050. In this context, sustainable development becomes a critical part of our nation building. Today, urban India constitutes about 65% of the India's GDP, which is estimated to increase to 70% by 2030. An unprecedented expansion that will change the economic, social, and environmental landscape of our country. The development of Smart Cities mission is thus to promote cities that provide core urban infrastructure and give a decent quality of life to its citizens, a clean and sustainable environment. The main motto of Government of India is to make cities livable centers of growth. With a growing demand for shelter and related urban infrastructure, especially for economically weaker sections and lower income groups, the Government of India is making resolute efforts in ensuring affordable housing for all through the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. I am glad to learn that the CA has been working with state governments and developers for the implementation of green concepts in affordable housing projects, because our center is incentivizing housing projects. One of the reasons for the real estate picking up in spite of this pandemic, is that the interest rates have been reduced considerably. By the Reserve Bank, by the banks, and now you get a loan at a very affordable rate. So the building activity is going to pick up. With that momentum, you should see to it that they are sustainable. But also remember that Mahatma Gandhi has famously said that India lives in villages, with more than 50% of our population still dependent on agriculture, because agriculture is our basic culture. Boosting rural economies also is of vital importance. If India has to grow, our village has to be prosperous, and we should have access to all basic amenities like the urban areas. Going green in villages would mean access to hygiene, health, sanitation, energy, water, and education. I am happy to know that the CA has taken up implementation of green measures in 24 villages in 11 states. What is 24 villages, Mr. Chandrit Banerjee? That's not even equivalent to number of states. So it should go to thousands. Next time, you must go to 2400 villages to begin with, and in all states. And it should be taken up as a challenge and as a mission. So I would like to suggest to the members of the CEA and also the other business organizations to expand their footprint to many more number of villages and states. My dear sisters and brothers, India has the potential to lead the global green building movement, and there is a need for a concerted push on this front by both the private players and the government. I urge the construction sector to work with Government of India and the state governments in building a greener, healthier, and prosperous India. I once again convey my appreciation to all of you for your contribution in building a sustainable India. I'm happy that you brought out a coffee table book and rating systems on healthcare, logistics, and net zero water are all launched today. I hope that they will be of immense use. I wish Green Building Congress 2020, Green Building Congress, I'm not talking of politics or parties. Congress is a congregation. Green Building Congress, a grand success, because elections are going on. I don't want to. You misunderstood that I'm using the name of a particular party and all. I wish this conclave a grand success. Thank you, Mr. Godrej, Suresh, Chandrajit Banerjee, and Gurmit Singh Arora and other friends. Namaskar. Jai Hind.